factors and prime factorization. So if you look at the prime factorizations or the factors, so when you write out the factors, so you're looking at like how many different ways I can write it. Let's say, for example, take 24. So 24, I can write it 1 times 24, or 2 times 12, or 3 times 8, or 4 times 6. And if you want to write more, again, 6 times 4, at the end repeats them all. So if you look at it, so from this, you can say factors of 24 are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. Okay, so that's what these three factors are means. Okay, so now let's look into this question. So I want you to write down the factors of 30. Okay. Write down the factors of 30. Go ahead and try this. Prime number. What's a prime number means? That's right. So the prime number is basically the factors of the one in itself. Okay. So 1 and itself. Factors. Okay. And then the other one is called the prime number, and then the other one is a composite number. So the composite number is basically, it's other than the prime number, we can say it. Okay. So let's look into some composite numbers and prime numbers, so you can tell me whether it is a prime number or composite numbers. Okay. Alright, so let's look at some examples of the prime numbers and composite numbers. So I'm going to put some question up here. I want you to try think what factors it's going to get, and from that you can tell whether it's a prime number or composite number. So I'm going to put this a little bit in space. So write down the factors and then tell me whether it's a prime number or composite number. That's very good. So 24, the factors are right there, and this is a prime composite number. And then 41, the factors are 1 and 41, so 1 in itself, so it's a prime number. Same thing with the 51. Do you think the 51 is a prime number? Or do you find any other factors? How about 3? Is it 3 goes in 51? Yeah. Because it's 5 plus 2 and 3 go in 2. Yes, 5 plus 1 is 6, so 6 goes in 3, so 51 does go in there. Yes. 89 is a prime number, that's good. So, and then 121. 121 is also, when you combine the numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 1. So you have, it's hard to find a number there, but 3 doesn't go, because 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. 4, that's 3 doesn't go, but you can see 11 times 11 is 121. So it's going to be 1, 11, and a 121. So it is not a prime number, okay? It's a composite number. Composite number. And same thing with 51, it's a composite. Okay, good. It's really important we carefully look at all the factors of them. So the next one we're going to look at is prime factorization. So when you look at the prime factorization, and all you can say like factor tree, you can use a factor tree. So the factor tree is like one way we can just find all the prime factors and write prime factorization. So let's take one example. So let's go find the prime factors of 30. So let's take a 30. Let's find the prime factors of that. 30, you can write it 2 times 15. And then once you get the prime number, make a circle. That way you don't miss them. And then 15 I can write, because 15 is not a prime number, I'll break it down 3 times 5. Now I know 3 and 5 are prime numbers, so that means you're completely done. So at 30, I can write it, and in terms of the prime numbers, it's 2 times 3 times 5. And that's called the prime factorization. Okay, let's go write it down. The prime factors of 630. So that's good. I could have just done the right. And just did 9. This is another method that you can use it instead of factor tree. This is really good. And whatever method you like, it's all good. Nothing wrong with that. So when you write this one as a prime factorization, one thing that you have to do is, since you have the 7 and you see the 3's 2 times you got, so probably the best practice is 2, and then this is 3 to the second exponent, okay? And then 5, and then 7. Okay? Or sometimes, sometimes you may write it like, instead of the multiplication sign, people write it like 2 times 3 squared times 5 times 7. That is also correct. All right, let's try these ones. First, to tell these numbers are prime numbers or composite numbers. If it is composite, then write a prime factorization. Okay. It's okay. You can both. You need to know both of them, so that way, if a teacher teaches you this way, then you still know what it is. Okay. Yeah, following the factor here and complete that prime factorization. At the bottom, write it down the prime factorization also. That's good. And then you multiply that one, and then 2 times 4, and you break it down, so you get the 13, and then 1. Okay, looks good. The other one, 9 times 20. 9 we can write 3 times 3. 20 is 5 times 4. Looks good. And then break it down. That looks good. Okay, how about they write down the prime factorization? That looks good. So you write it 3 times. So it's 2 cubed and then 13. And the other one is you have a 3 2 times, then 5 1, and then 2 2 square. Looks good. It's called prime factorization. That looks pretty good. So this is what the prime numbers, prime factorization, composite numbers, and in the next class we're going to look at how to use the prime number or the factorization with the letters, like with the variables. So how can we use that as a prime factorization with the letters? So, because that is really important. That's what you're going to look at it into the algebra too also. Okay, so that's what we're going to do.